Hello everybody, welcome to Jill's Creative Side. I'm super excited to be here today with you guys. I have some cool earrings I want to show you guys how to make. But first of all, thanks for being in my group. If you're catching this on Facebook, I would love it if you would comment anything just to bump the video up. If you are catching this on YouTube, I would love it if you like this video, if you would like the video and subscribe to my channel. It helps me grow out there in the world. So with that being said, today we're going to be making 3 different types of earrings. The first type is they're all going to be using the wooden blanks, and I will link the link below on where I purchased these. The other 2 shapes I purchased at Hobby Lobby, so I'm not sure if they're online or not, but I'll check and see. But you can get all of these on Amazon, and I will put my affiliate link in the comments below for the wood blanks. There are different sizes, different shapes, all different kinds of things. So we're going to be making, everything we're making today is going to be using these. So I have tried out a new technique that I could not wait to share with you guys. It is using alcohol ink and the wood blanks. So I purchased a kit of alcohol ink from a maker studio, and it came with a ton of colors in their kit, and I can link that in the comments below as well if you would like. It's just easier for me to get a kit, that way I have all the colors that I need. So I'm going to be using the alcohol ink for that, and a new kind of cool technique. Now with these wood blanks, the way when you drop the alcohol ink on them, and which you'll see because I'm going to do it here in a few minutes, but you'll see how it just takes off with the wood grain. It's crazy how it does that. But I did a few last night using a technique that I saw on YouTube, using a stamper. Well, I didn't have a stamper, so I made one. I had some wood that I bought from Dollar Tree, and these are like the little Jenga blocks they sell at Dollar Tree. I just glued them on there, and then I stuck a piece of Velcro on there. And then you're going to need some felt, just regular felt, and it sticks right on that. So now you have a stamper. And so that's what we're going to use to put the alcohol ink on these wood pieces. I will do it away, just dropping it on there as well so you can see that. And then once we do these, then we're going to make some patriotic earrings using some napkins. And I love stars, you guys, and some scrapbook paper. And I'm gonna go ahead and crank on my heat press because you will need that as well, or you can use an iron or whatever you want to use. But I will go over how I'm going to do those later, but those are using these blanks as well. And then once we get finished with that, we're going to use some resin to resin over top. So I also am going to put some resin over top of the pieces, the earrings that we made before, using the infusible ink and scrapbook paper. I resined one side. I've not done anything on the other side. Actually, I can't do anything on these yet because these are unfinished, I think. Yeah, so I'll need to do something. I'm not sure what I'm going to do on that. I might just resin that. But some of these that are finished, like this has scrapbook paper on it, and I resined the top, and it has just wood stain on the back, and I'm going to put some resin on that. We're going to resin some of these earrings that I made using the alcohol ink. So this is using the blotter way, as what I'm going to call it. I don't know what the name is called, but you're blotting the colors on there, and it looks super cool. I think it's going to look really, really pretty with resin on top of it. But look at those colors, you guys, and the design you get. And that's just using the wood blanks. So it's super fun. I love doing this. I love finding new ways to create different earrings. And I wanted to do kind of a red, white, and blue. So that's what these are. And then I did the backs, and they're never going to match perfectly when you're using alcohol ink. So your earrings aren't going to be identical. I don't even think it's possible to get them even close. But, I mean, I guess you could. And so this one, I kind of, I didn't remove the felt. I just kept blotting, and it kind of smudges the colors out. But I like the other side because it shows more of the white in there. I just think it's a cool way to make unusual earrings that no one else has. This one, I'm loving the colors because it's got the purple, the pink, all different colors mixed in there. And here's the backs. so you can see how different they are. Now I did the fronts, I let them dry, and then I went back and did the backs, and so I couldn't remember exactly what colors I used. I had an idea, so they're not exactly perfect. This one I missed a few places. You can see the wood in there, but that's okay. On that, then that's this side. I think this side goes with that one, yeah. And then we have some more red, white, and blue. I mean, it's just really wild how the alcohol inks take off on the wood grain. So you're not really going to have any control over what kind of design you get, and I think that's kind of cool, really. I don't know, it's just different. So here's these, and I did these yesterday. And so I'm really loving how these are turning out. They're just so cool. So we're gonna make our own. I'm gonna show you exactly how to do it. You start off with the wood piece earrings blank. You don't put anything on them. They're not sealed. They don't have any kind of stain. Nothing is on them. So that's what you want. All right, so I'm gonna move you down so you can see exactly what I'm doing. Whoa. Sorry about that, guys. Okay, I think that you can see pretty good. All right, so this is just parchment paper. That's my heat press heating up. This is parchment paper, and I'm going to use a different piece of parchment paper for each color so that I don't get colors everywhere. I am going to wear gloves because the alcohol ink does stain, and I think you should just wear gloves when you're working with it, just so you don't get it all over you. But this is such a cool way to do this. And I have a Teflon mat, not Teflon. Oh my gosh, my mind just completely went blank. Anyway, I have this mat here that's over top of the table. You want to protect your table from the colors because it is going to get messy. All right, so I think I'm going to use yellow and lemon yellow. I think I'll use the lemon yellow instead of the regular yellow. And then we have pink and apple green, violet, and I'm gonna put in a little bit of golden in there just to get some little, maybe some glitter. You can see what that looks like. It's kind of cool looking. And let's use some white, and make sure when you're using your alcohol inks that you put the top back on when you use it, after you use it, because I did not do that yesterday, and this is supposed to be white and it got red in there because I put the wrong cap on there. So you don't want to do what I did. I'm also going to use peach. So we're going to see what this looks like. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take each color and just drop some color on this felt pad, and then I'm going to blot it on the earring piece. That's it. And then I'm going to show you how we let it run. So first, I know I did not cut the top of this one, so let me cut the top of this one off, and we're going to start with some peach. And like I said, I did get this at Maker Studio if you're interested in purchasing any, but they sell it at I'm sure Hobby Lobby, Michael's, Joann Fabrics, all of them sell alcohol inks, I feel sure. I'm not sure about Walmart. But, all right, so I'm just going to take this and I'm going to drop it. Just one drop. You don't want to, like, squirt a whole bunch out. Come on. And I'm not putting it together because you don't want the colors to run all together and make a big yucky mess. And so now this is sapphire blue. Let me know if you guys can't see or if I need to do something different. All right, now we're going to use some pink. See, that's what I'm doing so far. Then I'm going to go with some apple green. I don't think I've opened this yet either. All right, so let's do some apple green. Oh, that's pretty. I found that it never really looks like the bottle color. And let's go with some lemon yellow. And like I said, Maker Studio sells it in the kits. If you want that website, I can link it below. They have some really neat stuff at there. Oh, that's pretty. That's like a neon green. So that's what we have so far, and I'm going to add a little bit of the gold. First, I'm going to add some white. Then I'll add some of the gold in there. And I'm just putting it where I don't already have color. I haven't used this gold yet, so I don't know what this is going to look like. Hopefully it's got some glitter in it. All right, now I'm going to stamp it on the piece. So I'm just going to put it on there. Check it out. How cool is that? Now I want to do it a couple times because I need to get the color all over the earring so that there's not really any wood showing. And then I'm going to do this one the same. And by the time you do like 2 of them, basically it's used up. Like all your ink is used up. Okay. You guys, I am loving this. So check these out. How pretty is that, you guys? All right, so I'm going to set this over to dry. I'm going to come back and do the backs once it dries for a few minutes, but I'm going to change the pad on that. And so basically I just pull it off, throw this away, and then I'll cut another piece. So I just have a piece of felt that I got at like Walmart or Hobby Lobby or anywhere. Basically you get felt. It's just regular old felt. And so it just sticks right on here, just like that. Now we're gonna do another one. And I'm gonna do these round ones because I think these are super cute. All right, so let's try the yellow, and I wanna try that peach. The peach, and then the lemon yellow and the green. Where is the green? Did I not use green? Here it is. Apple green, yes. All right, and so I think I'm gonna use some violet. I didn't use violet on that last one, so I'm gonna use violet on this one, and I'm just putting some drops all over. Not a whole lot. You don't want them to run together. This is the apple green. And if you want a color more dominant than the other, you would just put that color down more. This is the peach. Then this is the lemon yellow. And I'm gonna add in a little bit of white. These are so fun. Okay, now I'm just going to stamp it down on the piece. and see what we got. And it's similar to the other one, but there's more green in there. And I'm just gonna go over it until all of the wood is covered up. This is just super fun. You never know what you're gonna get when you're doing this. So it's just cool. Okay, so there's this one. How cute is that, you guys? Oh my gosh. All right, next I'm gonna try, actually no. Let's do the dropper way on this one. And this is where I'm just gonna take a drop, and I'm gonna take this off, throw it away. I'm just gonna take, we're gonna go sapphire blue, and I'm gonna put a drop right on the edge, or right in the point of this, and I want you to see how it takes off up the wood grain. It is crazy wild. So I'm just gonna put one drop. Whoops, I didn't get it quite on the center, but I mean, it takes off. It is so wild looking. Let me see if you can see how it just took off. That was just a drop, and it like goes up the earring. It's so wild that it does that. So next I'm gonna use some pink. And I hope that you guys can see this pretty good. And I'm just gonna put a drop over here. I mean, it is crazy how it takes off. I think I'm gonna do a drop on this side too, just to kind of get it whoa, the same. Oh, that's turning purple. That is wild looking. You guys, look at that. That is so cool. And so this one is not running up just like the other one. That's why I said you're never gonna have one the same. Now, I did use the silver on one yesterday, and it just basically put a big drop. It didn't do anything, and I didn't like the way that it made the earring look. So that was kind of a fail. And so that's white. And then we're gonna let's do some of this lemon yellow and see what it does. I don't know what it's gonna do. It's pretty crazy. All right, now I'm gonna go with sapphire blue over here. I mean, it's wild how that just takes off with the wood grain. All right, so I'm gonna let that sit for a little bit and let it do its thing, because it'll actually spread out more as it sits. So there's those two. I'm gonna sit them over there to dry a little bit, and then I'm gonna go back and start another one. So next we're gonna do this shape, and we're gonna go back to the stamping way. And because I like the way that it puts the colors on there better. It's more predictable, I guess you could say, than the other way, because you're stamping it on there, I guess, and it's not running up the wood. So we're gonna try that. So let's go with pink. Then let's do some yellow. Let's try the yellow. And I really liked this yellow apple green. I think that is really pretty. So you're never gonna have two the same. I don't know how you could do two the same doing it this way. I guess it could be a fluke. All right, now let's do some violet. And let's do some white. And you know what? I may do a little bit of silver because the silver kind of gives it a little bit of a glitter effect. That's what the silver looks like. And I'm telling you, putting resin on top of these colors is just going to make the colors really stand out, I think. All right, let's get going with this. Okay, so now we're going to stamp these. All right, you guys, how adorable are these? Okay, so y'all get the gist of how this works. These are so, so pretty. All right, so I'm gonna set these over here to dry. And then I'm gonna do one more. I'm gonna do the drops on this one, and I'm gonna do this. So we're gonna do the drops again since we've only done one of those. And then we will go to the next kind of earring while all these are drying, and then we'll resin some, and then we'll be done because I don't want to take up all your day. So let's go with red, white, and blue. We'll see what we get. We have no idea how this is going to work because it's going to run itself up the wood grain. So this is just blue. So I'm going to do one drop there and one drop there. Wow. And you see how it runs up the earring just by putting a drop on there. How cool is that? All right, so let's do white beside that. I'm not sure what the white's going to do. It doesn't look like the white runs quite as much. You can barely even see it. And so now let's do some red. I'm not sure how well this is going to work with that. Whoops. With that white. I guess it's working a little bit. I hope you guys can see that. It does kind of make it go in a stripe, so that's kind of cool. So I'm going to put one right on the edge over on this one, or I'm going to try. Whoops, now that comes out. Okay. Let's go with the blue. I'm going to try to get it on that. Yeah. That's going to run together, so that's okay. Now let's go with the red. I'm not even sure you can see the white. Okay, well, that's running into the blue, so it's just going to turn out how it turns out, you guys. It's pretty wild how the ink just takes off on its own up the wood. It's so cool. I'm going to go for some white in between, and I know it's probably going to run into, yep. Let's go with the red. I'm really not liking this one because it's running into the blue and it's making it look black. So let's just go ahead and put the red on top of the white. I'm really not liking this one at all. Okay. I don't know. It's kind of different. I'm not sure if we could make a design by blowing on that. That is kind of wild looking. I'm just blowing on it to move it around some. It's giving it kind of a wild look. I'm going to drop some white on that red. Whoa. Wow, that's pretty wild. Okay, I'm going to let this dry and see what it looks like in a few minutes. But how wild is that? So like I said, you can't really do a design and think it's going to come out like you want it, because it's probably not. All right, so I'm going to let this sit to the side, and then we're going to get started on the next thing. I'm going to let those dry. But look at this one, you guys. I just wanted to show this to you, what this looks like right now. How cool is that? That is super cool. I love how this is turning out. I love it. So that's, and these are still drying, so I'm not going to mess with them. I'm going to let them continue to dry. And because the resin's going to take a few minutes to do that, because we have to stir it for 3 minutes and all that good stuff. But, and there's that one. So yeah, this is super fun. I love that. All right, so next what we're going to do is we're going to use, let me put this ink up so I don't get it everywhere. But I think you can probably get alcohol ink at any craft store. And I'm not sure about Walmart, but I would say they probably do have it, because they pretty much have pretty good craft selection. All right, so let's take these gloves off. All right, so what I did on these is last night I put Mod Podge on these, let them dry overnight, and then this morning I put it on the other side. And the reason you want to let it dry is because we're going to use the Cricut heat press to adhere the napkins and the scrapbook paper to the wood pieces. I know it sounds crazy, but it really does work, and it's awesome. I like the way that it comes out better, because you don't have that chance of getting the Mod Podge on your like the scrapbook paper. You don't get it on top of it when you're doing it like this, because it's already dry. So I'm all into this Patriotic. It's, you know, Memorial Day's coming up, then we've got 4th of July, and I just love anything patriotic. I mean, and it's all year. You can wear this stuff all year. So I'm just going to take one of these napkins, and you want to take off, you know, they all have a liner, or not a liner, but they all have like 2-ply, 3-ply, and you want to get them apart. And that's the most challenging part of doing this, is trying to get it apart. And sometimes you have to tear it to get it to start, or wet your fingers or something, because it is challenging to get these torn apart. Let me just tell you, it is really crazy. But you need to get them torn apart, because it won't turn out very well. And you can do this technique on anything. It doesn't have to be earrings. Like, you can make wreaths. You can use this on anything, really. I know it looks like I'm just devouring this napkin, but we're only going to need part of it. So it's okay. And I'm sorry it takes so long to do this, but it's important to separate it. It's kind of like being in the grocery store when you're trying to get the bags separated when you're in the produce. I mean, does anybody else think that it takes like half a day to get that loose? And, you know, you don't want to lick your fingers because, you know, COVID. That's just like, ew, don't do that. It's just crazy. Let me try this. That works on the bags in the store if you do this. I don't know if it's going to work on a napkin. Probably not. And plus, I cut all my fingernails back because, here we go. We got it now. So I'm just going to tear it apart, because I'm going to be using the flag part. So now you just have the one piece of napkin. Some of them have, I hope this one don't. It doesn't seem like it does. Some of them have more than one piece. I hope that one didn't. But what you're going to do is you're going to try to figure out what you want on your earring. And I think I want the blue stars is what I want on these earrings, on those two. So I'm going to cut out the star part and put it over it, and then I'll show you how to trim it using a lighter. Now, my disclaimer is you do that at your own risk. You can do it using sandpaper, or you can trim it with your scissors, or you can use I have an old nail file that I use sometimes, but because these are dry, I'm just going to lay it on there, and then I'm going to show you the lighter way to do it, using a lighter. Now, I don't recommend you do it. If you do, please, this is my disclaimer, please don't burn your house down. I am not responsible for any fires that you may start doing it like that. But I mean, I don't think anything's going to catch on fire. It normally doesn't. And now I can use the red stripes on another piece. All right, so I'm going to put that on there. And I'm going to get the rest of them ready. I'm going to use the red stripes on these two. So I'm just going to cut that red stripe out. And I want them going the same way on both earrings. So I'm going to have the stripes going to the side like that. So I'm just going to lay that on there. There's that one. And then I'm going to cut this one. These are so fun because now, no matter where I'm at, if I see napkins, I'm like, oh, I got to get those because I can put those on something. And I have not ever been into Home Goods, and I hear they have amazing napkins in there. Can you believe that I've never been in Home Goods? That's just crazy. All right, so I'm wondering if I can get that flag on this one, or maybe we'll do the fireworks. Let's see. I'm not sure if I like that. So let's just go to the stars on this one. This one is, I think I got these at Dollar Tree, if I'm not mistaken. I'm not sure, but I think I did in the party section. And these are only 1 ply, so hopefully these are going to come out. It'll come apart easier, hopefully. I'm sure that folds up another way. These must have come from the Dollar Tree because they're not, the stars are only on 1 square. That's okay. Whoa. Y'all are gonna love this. This is so cool. This is one of my favorite things to do. I really like to do the scrapbook also, or the scrapbook paper also, but this is just, I don't know, it's just super fun. And I will probably also do the backs of them the same way as the fronts. I probably won't do those on this live because it's just tedious to make you watch me do the same thing again. But I'm probably gonna, I always like to have the back of the earring finished, no matter what earring I'm making. I like to have the backs finished. Good grief. Like I told you, this is the worst part of using a napkin. But it's okay. And y'all, it did not rain today. I could not believe it didn't rain. They were calling for rain like the entire weekend. And it's beautiful outside right now. Oh my goodness. Okay, here we go. Sorry, y'all. I know that takes forever, but I really want to do this with you guys. So here we go. All right. Now let's cut some stars for these earrings. Let's do that, All right. I want to do, all right, let's cut a square out of this one. And I'm going to try to get it the same on both pieces. Or similar. Alright, so there's that one. Now let's do a square on this one. And I'm just basically laying it on top of the earring just to kind of see where the stars are. And then I'll place them better once we get ready to put the heat to them. Because the heat from the heat press is what's going to make it stick to the Mod Podge. And then we'll burn the sides off with a lighter. So, all right, I'm trying to get it matched a little bit so it matches a little bit. All right, so I want to do I'm trying to get as many stars on there. All right, there's that one. So let's go with a purple one on here. And we'll go with purple on this one as well. Yeah, that looks good. And then on these, I'm going to do the scrapbook paper because you kind of get the gist of the napkins. And it takes forever too. So it's just a piece of scrapbook paper. I don't even know where that came from. Lord, I done got mixed up. All right, so we got 2. Got 1 there. I'm missing 1. 1, 2, 3. Here it is. Good grief. That goes there. All right. And then we're going to do scrapbook paper on these. And so basically all I'm going to do is just cut out around the earring, just in a square. And it's going to be something like that. And I'm going to do the other one over here because we want some red in that one as well. Now, I will tell you on the scrapbook paper, you can't burn them off of those because it will make it brown and gross. So you can't use the burn method when you're doing scrapbook paper. And I did test it. Doesn't work. So don't do that. I just wanted to see. I was curious. I didn't think it would work because it's paper. And the napkin, I don't know how it does that, but it does work. And it burns the edge off really, really good. All right, so now what I'm going to do is this is the mat for my Cricut heat press. I'm going to use parchment paper on both, over it and under it, just to protect the heat press so it doesn't get anything on it. All right, so now I'm going to lay these out just how I want the paper to stick to them. And then we're going to set the heat press on it. Let it do its thing. And then I'll burn the edges off the napkins. I'm really excited about the blue stars. Really excited about that. And the red and white stripes too. I think these are super cool. So I'm just basically putting the napkin over top of the piece in the direction I want it to be on the earring. And I'm going to do these, and then I'm going to do the other ones. But I'm going to put a piece of parchment paper over top of them. Like I said, just to protect the heat press. Hopefully everything stayed. And you only need to do it for just a couple seconds. on the heat press. You don't need to hold it long. And so this thing's heated up, so I'm just going to sit it on here for a quick couple of minutes or a couple seconds, and that's all it takes. So let's make sure everything's stuck. Yep, see, it's stuck. Stuck good on there. All right, so let me move these out of the way. And it stuck the scrapbook paper to it also. So the heat just adheres it to the wood piece. Then let's do these. I'll try to get these, since they're stars, a little bit alike, if I can. You want to make sure you get the whole earring covered though when you're doing it. And this one. I am loving the stars. Now I will go over all of these with resin because it just, I think it looks really good. I'm just making sure nothing moved. Okay. All right, we'll just sit this on here for a couple seconds and then we're done. And you can use an iron if you want. Okay, so these are all stuck good. Now, let me turn this on. Okay. Next, what we're gonna do now, I do have a tub of water. I'm gonna move you up a little bit until I get ready to do the resin. I do have a tub of water, and I have a little tool here to hold the earring while I'm using the lighter, and I have one of these to burn it off. Now, I do go around and get the excess off. You know, you don't want to burn all of that. So I'm just trimming it up so it's not like a ton. Now on the scrapbook paper, you can go over it. Once you trim around it with the scissors, you can then go over it with either a nail file or a piece of sandpaper to get the edges smooth. But you don't want to use the lighter method with the scrapbook paper because it's just going to burn it and it's going to look terrible and it's not going to do right. It's not going to do what the napkin does because I have tried it. And so once you're done, there's not any goop or anything like that from the Mod Podge because it was dry when you put it on there. And so I'm just trimming around it, and then it will burn the paper, and it's going to burn it exactly to the edge. It's quite amazing how it does that. So I'm just trimming around it just to get the excess because you don't need to burn all that off. But when you burn it, it goes around it and it gets it. It goes right to the edge. It's pretty amazing. And if y'all haven't noticed, I love earrings. I love earrings. And yes, I do sell plunder earrings or jewelry, but I also love creating my own and coming up with all these different techniques and ways to make them look unique because I love having jewelry that's unique, not like everybody else. Okay. And so I'm all about the red, white, and blue also, and the stars. The stars are like very, very popular this year. I mean, big time popular. All right, now I only have this tub of water here just so the ashes fall in it because I don't want to make a big old mess. And I'm gonna hold it with these just because I don't want it to come around and burn my hand. But it probably won't. Hopefully I won't drop this in the water. All right, so I'm just gonna burn the paper around the edge. I'm gonna light it and let it burn. Hopefully I will not drop it in the water. And so it just goes right around the edge. And if it goes out, just relight it. And it goes right around the edge. And it gets it perfect. It is crazy. And I'm going to go Let me wipe it with a paper towel. Just wipe the soot off of it. And I'm going to wipe it into the water. I'm going to light that right there a little bit. Let it burn that off. And then before I put resin on these, I'm going to finish the backs, but I'm not. We're going to put resin on the ones I did last night, just so you can see how to resin the ones that we already did without you having to wait for me to do the other side. So here it is. Perfect. How freaking cute is that, y'all? Flipping cute. And I'm going to take my Cricut weeding tool and I'm just going to poke a hole right in there for the earring piece. You guys, this is so cool. I am loving this. All right, let me do the other one. And I'm just going to hold on to it like this. And I'm going to try to burn this up here so you guys can see it closer, how it does that. It goes all the way around and gets all of it burned off. Yeah. Super cute. Oh my gosh. Now, it didn't get exactly where I was touching or holding it, so now I'm just going to wipe the edge with this towel to get the black soot part off. Let's poke a hole in there. And then once I do the backs, I'm going to do the backs the same way with the napkins, just like we just did, and then I'll resin them. So there's that. So now we have a pair of star earrings. And you would never believe this was a napkin if you saw this under the resin. It's going to be so pretty under the resin. Oh my goodness. All right, so let's do the star or the striped one. And of course I didn't get it completely straight across. I did on one and not the other. Okay, that's all right. So it just burns it all the way around. It goes all the way around it and gets it all off. And then it goes out. So let me get the end of that. And then you're done. So I'm going to wipe off the soot. Oh my goodness. So maybe I'll use the one that I didn't get perfectly straight, this one. I'll use that as the back part and I'll do the front. The other part, hopefully I'll get it on there right. How stinking cute, y'all. Oh my gosh. It is so amazing how it burns that off. Love it. All right. So make sure, disclaimer, that you don't burn your house down. I'm not responsible for anything that catches on fire, but please do this with water near you and, you know, not where something can catch on fire like near gas or something. Don't do that. Just be smart about it. But it's crazy how it burns it all the way around and it gets it perfect. Now what I can do is, I'm not sure whether I will or not, is to paint the edges. I'm not sure what to do on that. So there's the other one. Now let's do the star. And then we'll start doing the resin on the other ones so you can see how that looks. The star one, you guys, is like my favorite. If it goes out, just relight it. The flame is like blue and green. That's wild. Super cool, y'all. Love it. Love it, love it, love it. Okay. And it does have a little bit of smell when you're doing it, so just be careful. I mean, it's just like paper burning. Y'all, that is so stinking cute. I can't wait to put resin on these. All right, I'm going to do the other star one, and then we'll go ahead and start the resin because that takes just a little bit. But I wanted to show you guys how to resin the earrings once they're finished. And then we'll be done. So this is a super cool way to do some cute and unique earrings. I love it. And these are so easy to make. I mean, you see how quick it went. So here are the star earrings. I love these, you guys. Oh my goodness. All right, so I'm going to stop with that. and set my water out of the way. Now, what we're going to do next is resin on the earrings that I did last night because they are completely finished. And this is a little tricky. So what I do is I put, and this is a piece of, oh my gosh, I can't think of the name of it. It's just a piece of, oh good grief. I'll think of it in a minute. It's not Teflon, but it's, I'm drawing a complete blank. It is, oh Lord, I'm losing it. It doesn't stick to, the resin won't stick to it. It bubbles up on it and you can just peel it right off. All right, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna resin the backs of these because I'm getting ready to do the resin. And I like to do as many as I can with the resin that I'm doing. And I can't, where's my other earring? There it is. These are the butterflies, and I did these with scrapbook paper. And so I'm just going to finish the backs of them. And then I'm going to resin these. All right, now, because I am downstairs, it's cooler down here than it is upstairs. And I have dealt a lot with bubbles. So I have read that temperature has a lot to do with it. So what I did is I took a butter dish, country crock, container, filled it with hot water, and I set, because I'm using Maker Studio Glacier resin. It's epoxy resin. It's 2-part. You have to mix exact parts when you're mixing the resin. But I put them in the hot water. I just put the bottles in there to warm the hardener and the resin. That helps with bubbles. Also, mixing it very, very slow helps with bubbles. And then spritzing with alcohol, 91% alcohol, which I do have right here. I just spray the pieces before I put the resin on there. And then once it sits for a few minutes, I do go over it with a lighter, and you can also spritz it with alcohol because I've had so much trouble with bubbles. Then once I resin the pieces, I'm carefully going to put them in a pizza box because a pizza box has a lid and you don't want dust getting on the resin because then you'll see it when the resin dries. So I'm going to put these pieces on here. I use a toothpick to hold them, and it takes a little bit to do this. So I'm not going to do all of them with you on here live because I don't want to take up your whole entire day. But I do want to show you how we do it. So what I'm going to do first is I'm going to wear gloves, which I recommend everyone wear gloves. You should always wear a mask. I'm not wearing one today because I'm doing a live, and you probably wouldn't be able to hear what I was saying. So they recommend a respirator. I don't use one. I probably should, but I don't. This resin that I use that I got from Maker Studio does not have a smell to it, but they say you should do it in a well-ventilated room. They have lots of precautions. You should follow all the safety precautions. Only reason I'm not wearing a mask today is because I am live and I want you to be able to hear me. So this is silicone mat. That's what it's called. So the resin will not stick to the silicone. So first what I'm going to do is I'm going to mix the resin, and you have to stir it for, they say, at least 3 minutes, if not longer. If it looks milky, then you need to keep stirring it. But the key to the bubbles is to stir it very, very slow. Okay? So I'm going to mix it, and you have to mix it equal parts. So I'm going to, I have a silicone measuring cup, and I fill one up to the 2 mark and then the other up to the 4 mark. And so that way I know that I have exactly the correct amounts of resin. It has to be exactly the same of the resin and exactly the same of the hardener, or it won't cure properly. So I'm using this measuring cup. It is silicone. It pops right out after it dries, the resin does. So after it cures, it pops right out. And so I'm going to mix this in first. And being in the hot water, you don't want the resin, you don't want the water to get in the resin at all because it'll ruin it. But it makes it really easy to mix and pour it. But Anyway, here we go. I'm putting this up to the light so I can see where I'm at, because you definitely want to mix exact parts or it will not cure properly. All right, so I put this on, this was the hardener, it's on 2, and then I'll mix the resin on 4, and then I'll know I have exact equal parts. And I can link the link to Maker Studio. I do not have an affiliate link yet. Hopefully one day I will, but I don't have one yet. And I have to tell you that the Amazon link is an affiliate link. We're supposed to tell you that. If I can get this open. Sorry guys, it takes for... Oh my gosh, maybe I can't get it open. It's, I guess I should have wiped the top off. All right, hang on. Let me get something to try to get the lid off. Hold on. This hardener gets so hard, it's really hard to get the lid off. Uh-oh. That's not good. Well, I may not be doing the resin if I can't get the lid off. Hang on, guys. I broke the lid. Oh my goodness. I don't know how else to get the lid off without breaking it. Again. Hang on. I'm not going to give up. I'm going to show y'all how to do this. Well, I got it. Oh my goodness. Even though the lid's broke. I don't know if that's going to mess it up or not. Okay, let's carry on. All right, now I need to pour this exactly on 4. And I have mixed it where it was not exact and it did not cure correctly. It was real bendy and it never did get hard. So you definitely want to make sure you mix it half and half. All right, so let me set my timer so I know how much time has gone by. Timer, 3 minutes. All right, so we got 3 minutes going on the timer, and you may have to mix it longer than 3 minutes. It just depends on what it looks like. If it's milky, then you definitely want to go. So what I'm doing is I'm just going to stir it really, really slow. If you stir it really hard, it's going to create a ton of bubbles, and that's what I was doing. I was stirring it really, really fast, and that was causing enormous amount of bubbles. And so we don't want to do that. We don't want to use a lot of force when we're stirring it. You just want to go slow. And once it doesn't look milky, because it'll look milky when it's not mixed all the way, then you just keep stirring it, even if it's past 3 minutes. Like 3 minutes is just a guide. But the slower you mix it, the less bubbles that you have. And bubbles are a pain. They have ruined a lot of earrings that I've made. The earrings I'm wearing today, I did make. And I used the resin, and I put paint in it, acrylic paint, and mixed that in there to get the pink. You can also use alcohol ink. You can use the, they have resin pigments that you can get. I did get a kit from Maker Studio of the resin color pigments and another kit of some kind of colors that you can use. I can't think of what it was right off the top of my head, but there's all kinds of ways that you can color your resin. You can also put glitter. You can take the little cupcake sprinkles. You can use those. You can use anything in the resin. I mean, anything. It's crazy. You could use a picture. The next thing I want to try is the bezels. And I want to use like scrapbook paper and then put the resin over top of it because I saw someone else do that and it was amazing. And you can use UV resin, but I choose not to just because it gave me really, really bad headache. And the resin that I used was sticky and it never got, that stickiness never went away. So I just gave up on UV resin. Plus it's a lot more expensive. I mean, it's fast. You get your completed project in like a couple minutes. But with this resin, it takes 24 hours to cure. Now, it was taking longer because I did not realize the temperature had a lot to do with it. So I take my resin in my pizza boxes upstairs where it's warmer and let it cure. And it usually in 24 hours, it's completely cured. But if not, I just let it cure more. So it's been 3 minutes and it still looks a little bit milky. So I'm going to stir it just a few more minutes and then I'm going to show you how I put it on the earrings. And this resin is self-leveling. It is not yellowing and it's really good resin. I believe that it's really good. I think it does really good with this. Once I figured out the bubble issue, I was much more happier, and it wasn't any fault of the product, it was me. So now there are bubbles in there, but we're going to try to pop as many of them as we can. It looks like it might be clear now and not milky, because if it looks any milky at all, you definitely haven't mixed it all the way. So what I do is I light it with a lighter a little bit. I go over it to pop some of the bubbles. If you wait just a few minutes, a lot of the bubbles will come to the top and you can pop them like that. And I just go over it now. Like I said, I don't really recommend you guys using the lighter because it's dangerous and I don't want anyone to have any problems. So I have it mixed all the way and I'm going to go ahead and put it on the earring. So let me put you down so you can see what I'm doing. And basically all I do is I take some resin off the stick, just a little bit, not much, because you don't want too much. You don't want it to run off the side because normally it will stop. It will not run off the side. It'll stop at the edge. And so you just want to do a little at a time. I move it around with the stick. I hold it with the toothpick in the hole. And then I just kind of push it around and get it to the edges. And so I just kind of work it around. And if you need more, you can get more. But I push it to the edges. I want to get around the hole. Try not to go over the edge. You don't want to push it over the edge, because then that will mess it up. And if it dries, if it cures and it's dripped, it's definitely, you're going to have to throw it away. So I'm not putting a lot on this one because it's the back. So I don't really need a thick coating on the back. But you want to make sure it goes all the way to the edge. So I'm just working it with the popsicle stick to the edge and then letting it sit. And it'll usually fill in because it is self-leveling. So it will fill in. And I'm going to have to put my glasses on because I can't see exactly what I'm doing up close. So I just want to make sure that I get everything really good around the hole. Really good without any drips on the sides. So basically that is all you do. If you see you've got some on the side, you can try to get it up. I think that was from the last time. Okay, so I'm going to let that one sit. And I see a little bit of where I didn't get it. So you just push it out there. Now I did not spray with alcohol, so I'm going to go ahead and spray these with alcohol. That just kind of gets rid of any bubbles that may that may show up on the earring. So I'm just taking a little bit on the stick and I'm going to pour it on the earring, and then I'm going to push it around. And I'm going to hold the earring still with this toothpick is what I'm doing. And I'm just pushing the resin out to the edge without going over the edge. You don't want to push it so, and you don't want to have too much resin on there, because if you have too much, it's going to run off, and you definitely don't want that to happen. So I just start putting it in the middle and working it out to the edges. And it usually, I've only had a couple that went over, and those I just had to throw in the trash. I mean, you could probably sand it, but I didn't. And then you can look at it from the side and make sure that you have it all there around the edge. And I noticed that I missed some up here, so I'm just pushing it out with the stick to the edge. And it looks good. So far, so good. And you want to, I usually just try to go in the hole, and if there's any resin in that hole, try to get it out, but a drill will definitely fix that. All right, so moving on to the next one. I hope you guys can see this good. So I'm just pouring the resin with the stick. The stick helps you not put too much on there, and I'm just kind of working it around. And then once I get finished with this batch, I will go over it with the lighter and pop any bubbles that I see. Heat pops the bubbles. You can use a heat gun on low setting, but you got to be careful with a heat gun because it will blow the resin, like move it, and you don't want to move the resin like over the edge. You want it right on the edge, but you don't want it to go over. And I think that this one looks okay. And if you do run it over and you catch it, you can try to wipe it up before it dries, because you don't want it to cure on the edge, or it's just gonna be stuck there. Or you can sand it, but usually it's just trash, or it is in my case, because when it cures, it's hard as a rock. But I'm telling you, the resin really brings out the colors. I'm anxious to see what these alcohol ink pieces look like with resin on them. I'm really excited about that. I love learning new ways to do earrings and jewelry and anything really. I just love it. And I'm going to try sometime this week to go live and do a Patriotic little kind of like a little door hanger wreath thing. They're wooden star cutouts that I purchased from Dollar Tree, and I want to decorate those, and I'm going to make some star pattern stencil with my icon art. So I'll be doing that this week. I don't know if it'll be Tuesday or Wednesday. Well, it's probably going to be Wednesday. I think it's probably what day it's going to be. All right, so I think, and once these sit for a few minutes, I go back and check and make sure everything is to the edge and that the hole is not full of resin, but you can drill it if it does. I have one that I need to drill the hole out that the resin went over top of the hole. Okay. And I have these silicone mats cut shorter or smaller because I put them, it's easier to put these pieces in the box without like moving the resin around, because you don't want to tilt it or anything, because then the resin will run, and I did that too. So learn from my mistakes. Just be careful when you're moving the resin to the box. Don't think I have enough resin on that one. I have learned a lot doing this, trial and error, but I still love it. This is like my passion, is crafting and showing people how to make crafts. I love doing this. And I am working on going public on Facebook, having a group going public. And if I do that, I'll still have this group, but I'll do most of my lives in the public group, which I'm still getting everything finalized with that. I want to make sure I have everything set before I do it and ready. But I'm excited to be doing that. I just love it. Love it, love it, love it. All right, so there are those. Now I'm going to put resin on these two. And I hope you guys can see good. So I have right many bubbles on there. I don't see a ton of bubbles on here, but I'm going to take care of those bubbles once I'm finished with this set right here. So I'm just basically moving the resin around. This is going to be so pretty. These colors with the resin on them. Oh my gosh. I'm so excited about this. This alcohol ink technique is just fun. I love it. I love how the colors turned out, but you can't have, if you have a design in mind, a pattern, it's not going to work with alcohol ink because it's like, does what it wants. And that's okay because it turns out pretty cool. So I'm just drizzling it on with the stick because I don't want to have too much on here. Since this is a weird shaped earring, I'm just doing it in sections so that I don't have any runoff on the inside or down the sides or on the back. And that's all I'm doing is just moving it around on the piece just to get everything covered and getting it to the edge without going over. So if you guys have any questions at all, let me know. This resin again is Glacier resin from Maker Studio, and I love it. It is amazing. I have used other resin. I used to make picture frames, and it did really good. And I can't remember the name of it, but this is made really for jewelry. So that's why I use this. All right, so I think I have it to the edge. I'm pretty sure. Sometimes it's hard to tell. You have to get down and look at it from the side, all around. And I'm just moving it a little bit with the toothpick just so I don't run it over. But I want to get it all the way to the edge, y'all. These are so pretty already when it's wet. I can't wait to see it when it's... I mean, look at the difference in resin, no resin. How bright that is and how dull that is. Oh my gosh. Y'all, I am so excited. This is so... turning out so pretty. Oh my goodness. And you guys know that, like... Christmas is in like 7 months, y'all, I think, or 8 months. Oh my gosh. So I am excited to be making Christmas jewelry now using this alcohol ink. I know y'all think I'm nuts. I'm always thinking about upcoming holidays and what can we make. But here in the next week, I'm going to be doing all Patriotic. I'm going to be doing the star hanger this week, probably on Wednesday. So I hope you guys will join me. I'll definitely be posting what time. It's going to be Wednesday. It's going to be after work. So it's probably going to be around between 3:30 and 4 because I get off at 3:30. So it'll be somewhere around in there on Wednesday. I would do it Tuesday, but I have to mow when I get off work. I love to mow, you guys. Mowing is my jam. It's my time to just get outside and, I don't know, I just love it. I love being on my tractor. Okay, so I'm thinking that I got it all around. Now this batch is done. So I'm going to show you, well, I might let it sit just a minute. All right, I'm going to make sure I got it all covered on all sides, everywhere to the edge. And then we're going to pop some of the bubbles. And then we'll be done with this batch. And I'll put it in my box and we can move along to the next batch. But you guys, I wish I could pick this up and show you the difference in that piece that was resin and that piece that wasn't. I hope that y'all could see it because it was amazing. All right, I'm checking the edges to make sure I don't have anything running over. And I don't see anything running over. So what I'm going to do is these are pizza boxes that I save. And you want to put your resin in something with a lid because you don't want dust getting on the pieces, and the lid keeps the pieces off. So I'm going to pick this up hopefully without dropping it. And I'm just going to sit it in here just like this. And then I'm going to put the lid on it, and I'm going to sit it on the floor where I know it's level. But I want to make sure that I've got everything to the edge, because now's the time to fix it if it's not. And then I'm just going to sit it and let it cure. I'll sit it upstairs and let it cure for 24 hours. And then I'll post pictures. But look at the colored ones, how bright those colors are, you guys. Oh my gosh. I am loving it. All right. So I'm going to put the lid on this, close the lid, and put it on the floor where it's level and let it dry. Or let it cure. And then I'm going to get another piece of good grief, I've gone blank again. Okay, I did not pop the bubbles on that other one. Hold on. Silicone. Silicone is the word I keep forgetting. Silicone, y'all. Silicone. This is the silicone mat. And they're ugly, but they serve its purpose. So I don't recommend you guys using the lighter. If you do, please do it at your own risk. This is my disclaimer. I'm not responsible if you burn your house down or you had something on fire. I'm only doing this because it works for me, but you can do it however you want to do it. So I'm going to take the lighter and go over the pieces and pop the bubbles. But please, if you do this, be careful and do it at your own risk. I am not responsible for any fires that you may start. All right, so this just gets rid of the bubbles. The bubbles pop with heat, and you can also spritz some alcohol on them also instead of the heat. I just use the heat because it works good. So I think that it looks like I've got it all pretty good. There we go. All right, so I'm going to close this up. Lay it on the floor. All right, now I'm going to get this piece, and we're going to start resin on these. And then we'll be done. But I wanted you guys to see how we resin the pieces, because I don't think I did a live with you guys on these. Y'all, how precious is that? Oh my gosh. Okay. So here we go. We're going to do the same thing on this one. I'm going to put it down and I'm going to move it around with the stick and hold the piece with the toothpick. Okay, so I'm basically just pushing the resin around to the edge and around on the piece. That is all I'm doing. I'm just moving the resin. And I'm telling you guys, I'm going to pick this up and show you what the resin piece looks like against the piece that's not resin, because it's a big difference. I mean, it's crazy how it makes a difference. And you don't want to do too much too fast, because then it'll start running off. So you want to work kind of slow and small amounts. Now, I will tell you that this resin does start to cure in about 20 or 30 minutes, so it'll start getting thick. But usually I'm done before with UV resin, I think it doesn't do anything until you put it under the light. That's a good thing about the UV resin. I just can't use it. I don't know what it was. Maybe the brand I bought. I don't know. It was sticky. It gave me a terrible headache. And I love this resin a lot, so it works for me, so I'm sticking with it. Maker Studio makes some amazing products that I love. They have chalk paste. They have all kinds of stuff. And I'm probably going to get their summer maker box. I usually get their maker box when it comes out each season, and I usually do a live on that showing you what's in it because it's a great way to use their products. It's a good deal, and it is a really good company. They are in Tennessee, I believe. I love Tennessee. And this resin is self-leveling, so it will, if you see like dents or whatever in the resin, it's going to spread out and make it really nice on its own. But you want to make sure you at least get it to the edge all the way. All right, I want to show you guys the resin piece versus the not resin piece. So you see how shiny that is against that. Oh my gosh, it is so amazing. All right, I did see a spot where I needed to get some more resin on here. And these silicone mats are amazing because the resin, once it dries, it pops right off. And I use a lot of them. I work on them so I don't have to worry about ruining anything. But, all right, I think that one is good. I'll tell you what, I'm not kidding you guys. The resin makes a huge difference in this ink. I mean, it makes it so pretty. So again, I'm just pushing it out and around on the earring to the edge without going over. And as long as you don't put too much on there, it probably won't go over the edge. I mean, I have had that happen, but if you're careful, you should be fine. Just don't get in too big of a hurry because then you'll get too much and then it will run over the edge. But it's pretty easy to work with. I love it. It's just been so much fun to create all these different earrings and hair barrettes and anything really. I love learning new things, and I love teaching other people how to do this because it is my passion. I love it. Crafting is just something I've always loved. I love making the shirts. I love challenging myself on different types of things, so it's just a lot of fun. All right, so just basically pushing it around to the edge without going over. And then we'll worry about the bubbles when we get done. It's best to let the resin sit for a few minutes to let all the bubbles come to the top. And then pop them with either the lighter or a spritz of alcohol. But they both work. And I didn't spray these, did I? Because it does help. All right, so let me spritz these real quick since I just failed to do that. All right. These are just, oh my gosh, these are so, when the resin hits these colors, it is amazing how pretty these colors are. It kind of changes the whole look. It's quite amazing. So again, if you are catching this on YouTube and you like this video, give it a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel, and turn your notifications on so that you don't miss any future videos, because I try to do at least 1 or 2 videos a week. So I don't want you to miss anything. So this, for the next week or 2, I'm going to be doing patriotic stuff. So I'll be making a star door hanger thingy, probably Wednesday. And then I need to make some sort of shirt, but I haven't figured out what I want to put on it yet. I've seen some cute designs. So all I'm doing is moving the resin around on the earring, pushing it to the edge without going over. And you want to use little amounts at a time so you don't run it over, because then you'll ruin it and you don't want to ruin your work. So are y'all liking this? I hope so. And anybody, I have some new people, so welcome to the group. If you're new here, welcome, welcome, welcome. And again, if you're catching this on YouTube, I have a group on Facebook, Jill's Creative Side. Come join that group. That's where I'm doing this live on. I usually do my lives on Facebook and then post them to YouTube. So if you want to join my group, it's a private group. I am going to start a public group soon, and I will be posting about that once I do that. It's kind of in the works. I'm excited about that. Very, very excited. So what we're doing is we're taking the resin and pushing it to the edge and giving it this beautiful look. It makes the colors come out. It just completely changes the whole look of the earring. It's amazing. And also, if you are just tuning in, I am using Maker Studio Glacier resin. It's a 2-part resin. You have to mix exact portions, exact amounts of each of the hardener and the resin. And I love it. Now you can do this using UV resin. I just don't. I couldn't find one that I liked that did not give me a headache and that wasn't sticky. So I stick with what works and that I love. And you can get this on Maker Studio. You can probably find some on Amazon. I will post a link for the earrings. They are the wooden earring blanks. It is an affiliate link on Amazon where you can get them. But I also got some at Hobby Lobby, but I got them in the store. So I don't know if they're offered online or not. But I can check and see. I feel sure that they would be if they had them in the store. But sometimes they don't. So all I'm doing is moving the resin around, pushing it to the edge without letting it go over the edge. You guys, these are so, it's completely changed the way these earrings look. Completely. So, all right, so there's that one. Now we only have 2 more to do, and then I will get off of here because I don't want to keep you guys all day long. I know everybody's got things to do, and it's beautiful outside. And the race is getting ready to come on at 3 o'clock. So I'm pushing this out. You guys, it is crazy how it is changing the look of these earrings. I mean, crazy. It is pretty wild. I love resin. I love the way it makes the colors just come out. It's so amazing. It just gives them that shine. Beautiful. And these alcohol ink colors are just really, really pretty. I love learning new techniques. So that alcohol ink was pretty neat. Using the stamper method is what I call it. I don't know what you really call it, but I believe that you can get kits on Amazon of alcohol ink with those stampers. But I just made mine out of some wood I got at Dollar Tree, hot glued it together. So now those are all done. So now I just want to check and make sure that I have everything covered. And what I'm going to do is get me another pizza box. Put this in here carefully. And I'm going to hold it up so you can see what we've done. I mean, look at the colors. How beautiful is that? So when I hold it up, it's easier for me to see that in the light, I can see where I missed any spots. So I don't see any that I may have missed. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go over it with a lighter. Like I said before, I don't recommend you do this. If you do, I'm not responsible for any fires, but this just pops the bubbles in the resin. And you can use a heat gun, or you can use spritz with alcohol. I'm probably going to spritz some with alcohol as well. All right, let me hold this up again. Make sure everything is to the edge. I see one here that's not quite to the edge. Like I said, this resin is self-leveling, so it will level itself out if you see like a dimple or something in there. All right, so I'm going to close this, put it on the floor, and let it sit. I think I'm going to give it a spritz just to pop any bubbles on top. And that's just 9.91% alcohol. That's what you need to use if you do that. Okay, guys, so that's all I have for you today. I hope that you enjoyed this, and I will definitely post in the group all the finished products that I have. I'm also going to put some resin on the backs of some earrings that we did together. Like these. I'm going to go ahead and resin the back of these. And these that we used infusible ink. I'm going to resin the back of those. And this was done with infusible ink too. No, actually this was not. This was the torch paste method that we used. So that's really cute. I love that. And these were they were not stained like these, because you don't want to stain the wood when you do the torch paste, because of the chemicals, it'll react and you don't want that. So anyway, I hope you guys have a great rest of your weekend. I hope you love this video. If you do, give it a thumbs up, comment below, let me know what you thought about it. Let me know if you want to try any of these techniques. I would love to see your work. So anyway, I hope you guys have a great rest of your weekend, and I will most likely be coming live on Wednesday, so stay tuned for that. Thanks again for being in my group and supporting me. You guys are awesome, and have a great day. Y'all take care.